Welcome to the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold. We are at PNC Arena. Look, you can see the Hurricanes logo behind me. Isn't it beautiful? We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Look in the corner of your screens. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. You should check them out. If you need any home improvings, siding, roofing, windows, they got it all. Aluminumcompany.com. So, Hurricanes won a hockey game tonight. It was a playoff game. They have a 2-0 lead in the series. And yet, I have a splitting headache. It was one of those games that, to be perfectly fair and honest, that Carolina is not equipped to play. This was very much a nasty hockey game. I thought from the very beginning of this game that the Islanders were going to come out. Look, the Islanders are not fast enough to play Carolina's game. The Islanders are not skilled enough offensively to take advantage of all the Carolina mistakes, although they tried, and make this, a game to their liking. So they were going to be physical across the line tonight. And I thought we saw a number of those even before the Matt Martin hit on Jordan Staal right at the end of the first period. And there was nothing that was egregious. There was just a lot extra tonight. All right. I don't think it was a particularly it wasn't like they were just taking runs at people. We didn't see a lot of that. There was just a little extra here and there. Oh, yeah, that puck was probably gone. You can't call everything. They're not going to send the Hurricanes to the power play, 20 times tonight. Rod Brindamore was mad after the game because of the Teuvo Teravainen injury, and I've seen it. Matter of fact, I just retweeted it. If you want to go hit my Twitter account at @AGoldFan. Jean-Gabriel Pageau, not necessarily known as a dirty player, and I don't think it was necessarily a dirty play, but he whacked Teuvo Teravainen right on the glove, the lower hand, and that's bad. That's an injury. And Rod said he's going to have surgery tomorrow, and he's out. I mean, I don't think you're coming back from that in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I think the Hurricanes will probably have to be playing in the Stanley Cup Finals before you see Teuvo Teravainen come back. But I don't know. I really don't. Who the heck knows how bad the injury was, but he's going to have surgery tomorrow and get it repaired. No Andre, no Turbo, no Max. 3 pretty important losses. But that's the game the Islanders wanted to play tonight. That's the game the Islanders needed to play tonight. And it's a game that Carolina's just not equipped to play. So you got to be able to play your game through that game. And I'm not even knocking I'm not criticizing. It's just not their game. And you do worry. Because I'm not worried about the series as much as I'm worried about what's left after this series is over. It is playoff hockey, and you're always going to have to deal with this. So right now, Carolina's got one extra forward. It is Jesse Puljujarvi. He will draw in, I am sure. What I am also sure, well, I guess I shouldn't be sure because they might have done it already, but I would anticipate that they will call up a forward or two from the minors to at least have an extra body. Because on top of the injury to Teravainen, Martin Necas kind of went back and forth to the dressing room a couple of times. Jordan Staal, wasn't sure he was going to come out to start the second period. I was counting players on the bench to start the second period after the Martin hit. So it was one of those games, people, and it is the playoffs. You're going to have more of those games. So does Carolina have enough to get through it? Well, we're going to find out, right? So there you go. But through all of it, 4, 3, in overtime. Kind of remarkable if you think about it. I just want to go through the goals real quick. We'll take your questions, hear little comments here. And again, we're on YouTube, Canes Corner podcast page on YouTube. I don't know, is it a like button? Is it a subscribe button? Whatever you have to smash, go ahead and smash it. Of course, this will also be the Canes Corner podcast regular style, old-fashioned, if you will, that will show up tomorrow morning wherever you get your podcast. So if you want to listen to it again, I ain't stopping you. Hope you do. Hope you download it. Hope it shows up automatically in your phone or wherever you get your podcast. I listen to my podcasts, not my own. I just check it out, make sure it doesn't sound like crap. But I listen to podcasts through my phone, occasionally on my laptop, but usually through my phone. So wherever you get them, Apple, Spotify, Google Play. Are there others? Spit is what? Pinster? Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, hit the like button and subscribe to this whole thing, and that would be fun. By the way, we're getting comments. Whether you a new listener to the podcast or what, I appreciate the kind words on the podcast. Sometimes I think this is a little rough around the edges, but maybe that's just me, rough around the edges, and I do think I'm honest to a point. Matter of fact, my work during the intermissions, during the Hurricanes broadcast, I'm probably borderline not going to be asked back. I've been harsh on them during intermissions, and it's a Hurricanes broadcast. I should probably temper those statements, but I'll just say this. Carolina's power play, woof tonight. They got a power play goal. Shouldn't even count as a power play goal. You know what? I think hockey needs own goals for that. Not a goal that goes in off a defenseman's skate, right? Or bounces in off a defenseman's leg. Or a goal that hits the goalie in the mask and goes in and otherwise wouldn't have gone in. We don't need own goals for that. They have own goals for that in soccer. But we need an own goal for what happened with Islanders' Sebastian Aho as he flicked the puck in. It wasn't even a shot. Stefan Noesen was flipping it in for Necas to go into the corner on the power play. And Isles Aho, Swedish Aho, just kind of swings his stick to knock the puck down, and he bats it toward his own goal. It bounces once. Ilya Sorokin never saw it, and it just kind of bounces one and goes far side, just inside the far post. And that's a goal. Carolina had a 2-0 lead. And from that point, the Islanders owned the game. Actually, I think it was before then. I think it was the start of the second period where the Islanders really controlled the game. And Rod Brindamore's right. Carolina wasn't great. I thought they were better. I thought their best period was the first period. I thought there were pockets of really good in there, but for the most part, I didn't think Carolina was great. I thought Carolina was loose. I thought the Islanders got a bunch of chances early. I thought Raanta was very good in the first period to keep him in it. And then Anti's game kind of disintegrated too. And that's not good. Freddie Anderson was ill tonight, so he didn't dress. I watched Freddie in the morning skate today. Had no idea that he wasn't feeling well. He did the whole practice. But then all of a sudden you see Pyotr Kochetkov out as the team warmed up. I'm like, okay, guess we're not going to have Freddie tonight. I didn't really know until the Hurricanes had announced. Look, if they didn't want to, if Freddie didn't want to dress the backup, or if they decided, look, Ranta's playing, we're not going to have Freddie. We'll just use Pyotr as the backup. I got no problem with that. Pyotr's been good in relief of Antti Raanta. Remember, he came in at the in game 2 here against Boston in the first round. He did game 2 here against New York in the first round too. So he's like 3-0 in relief. Remember the game in St. Louis where Raanta wasn't good, and it was 3-3 after 2 periods, and Kochetkov came in and was excellent the rest of the way, and that was part of Kochetkov's streak where he was one of the best 2 or 3 goalies in the entire league. So I got no problem if Kochetkov gets on the ice and plays. Again, I've said this before. I think he gives them their best chance. I think he has the highest end of any of the goaltenders on the roster. He also has the lowest ceiling. Although Auntie was kind of testing those bounds tonight, wasn't he? First goal, not good. Second goal, worse. Third goal, Nelson was in tight. Good shot. So I'm not gonna bang Ronta for the third goal. You would have liked the save at that point, but he was at by then playing about as well as the rest of the team. Carolina's you know outfit wasn't all that great at that point, but what that third goal did was it kind of snapped them back to attention, because at the end of regulation and into overtime, that was Carolina Hurricanes hockey. All of a sudden, Islanders really didn't have too many chances. There was one late. I don't even remember who it was, but it was maybe Hudson Fasching in tight, and Ronta had to get across. They needed it. Got to give your guys a chance, and that's what Ronta, for the most part, has done all year long. He has given them a chance, and that save came at the right time. Jacob Slavin, not too long after that, Jacob Slavin banked one in off Ilya Sorokin's head, and then Jesper Fast wins it in overtime. We'll go through questions here in just a second. I just want to go through the goals and then some other thoughts about the game. First goal, heavy shift from the fourth line. Just awesome work. A long enough shift to get in a partial line change. Paul Stastny was still on the ice. I don't remember exactly who got off the ice, but Seth Jarvis had come on. So my guess is that it was Derek Stepan that got off the ice. Jarvis came on, and he got the primary. Well, he didn't get the primary assist. He got the secondary assist because he got it to Slavin down near the goal line below the right faceoff circle. And you're thinking, what the heck is Jacob Slavin doing there? That was such a great cycle, heavy, determined shift. And Slavin took a pass from Jarvis, ripped it at the net, and there was Paul Stastny in front who redirected it in. 1-0 Carolina. Second goal we've already talked about. It was the power play goal, really the own goal by Sebastian Aho, the Islander. The third goal for Carolina, after the Islanders had taken a 3-2 lead. They scored 3 straight goals to take a 3-2 lead. That was, poor decision by the Islanders. They take an icing with their fourth line on the ice, and as soon as that happened, up over the boards comes Carolina's top line, Aho, Teravainen, and Jarvis. And ultimately, with some good pressure, you win a face-off, good pressure. Jacob Slavin has the puck below the goal line to the left of Ilya Sorokin. Doesn't see any options. Sorokin's head is giving him a little bit of room, so he banks it off the side of Sorokin's mask and in. 3-3. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, wow, Carolina somehow is okay in this game. They get it to overtime, and Jesper Fast happens. And on the play, by the way, right before Stahl made the pass to Fast, Jordan Martinick got away with a clear high stick. Lane Lambert, the Islanders coach, was not happy about it, but you know what? They missed a lot of stuff tonight. They could have called a lot more penalties tonight. The one penalty they called on the Hurricanes was a bogus call. I mean, literally nothing happened for Teuvo Teravainen to receive a penalty for tripping. Jean-Gabriel Pageau just fell. Like, I know there were people who want to say he took a dive, and I know Tripp made a Greg Louganis reference, RIP. I think, is Louganis still signing? I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that I don't think he dove. I think he just fell. Sometimes you fall. I don't think he tried to draw a penalty because there's no way, if the linesman or if the referee was watching the play, there's no way that you would have called anything other than diving, because there literally was nothing. I still don't understand how Teuvo Teravainen was whistled for a trip in that play, but whatever. It happened. Carolina lost 2 minutes of power play time. Frankly, judging by the power play tonight, I don't miss it. They missed plenty of other calls tonight. The Islanders, again, played a pretty, I thought, borderline chippy, over the edge, or right at the edge at best on, in their defense type of game, because they have to. That's the way the Islanders are going to impact this series in a positive way. They're going to have to play like that. Carolina's been too good, although they weren't great tonight. And the Islanders they're not blessed with tons of goal scoring talent either. That's why these is kind of like Spider-Man memes pointing at each other. So the Hurricanes 1 for 6 on the power play, 0 for 0 on the kill. Islanders out-hit Carolina 54-28 tonight. Ronta wasn't good. 2 of the goals are bad. Turbo's out. Nate just got banged up, but he finished the game. Stahl got banged up on the Matt Martin hit right before the end of the first period, but he finished the game. But we don't know what these guys are going to feel like tomorrow. And Carolina is now down. And if you want to count everybody on the roster, you're down Teravainen, you're down Svechnikov, you're down Pacioretty, you're down Kasha. I wonder how many goals Don Waddell, Tom Dundon, Eric Tulsky penciled in for that quartet at the start of the season. And right now, none are available. Teuvo Teravainen is going to miss who knows how many weeks if he's having surgery for a broken hand. My 3 stars of the game were, third star was Paul Stastny. Again, I thought the fourth line was excellent. I could have given Jack Drury a star. I thought he was good. I thought he was instrumental in that first goal in terms of keeping the puck in the zone. I thought Jesper Fast was good. I thought the Stahl line was excellent. Martinook was good. Jordan Stahl was also very good tonight. He wasn't as physical after the hit. So, again, bears watching. But I thought Jacob Slavin was the best player in the game for Carolina tonight. And I thought that before the goal. Remember, he had the assist on the Stastny goal as well, but I thought Jacob Slavin was outstanding tonight. All right, let's get some questions here from my people. From Colin. Oh my, Rod just said Turbo's hand was broke. Yes, on a slash. I've seen the play. It was definitely, yeah. Carolina was on the power play. Pajot whacked him with the stick right on the hand. Surgery tomorrow. Brandon, Teuvo being out is not great, but this team can get through. Yeah, you can get through anything, apparently. They can get through anything. I've said this before about this team, and this was more about Svechnikov. This is going to sound weird to you people, especially given you people. I feel like Chuck Amato, especially since Teuvo has not had a good year. In my opinion, this is a worse injury for Carolina than Svechnikov. The Teravainen injury is worse for them than the Svechnikov injury, and I'm not trying to be disparaging towards Svechnikov. Andre is obviously a better player than Teuvo, a more impactful player. But where Teravainen is deployed, especially when he's playing well, and I thought he played pretty well tonight, even though there weren't a ton of players who played well tonight, but I thought he played really well in the first game of this series. Where Teravainen impacts the game is making it easier on Aho, bettering the power play. He's a great defensive forward, and is an important part of the penalty kill. So now there's none of that. So again, not saying that Teravainen is better than Svechnikov, but for what Carolina needs from these players, you can get away with not having Andre. Man, it's hard. It's hard to be the best version of yourself without Teuvo Teravainen. It really, really is. They want to play. Paul points out they won a playoff game where they didn't play that well. I'll take it. Yeah, nobody is throwing the win back. Nobody would change the circumstances. You're not going to give a win away. You wouldn't say, well, I'll trade the win if we can get Teuvo Teravainen back. You just can't do that. That just doesn't make any sense. This team is already challenged with offensive depth, top line depth. So right now, in their top 6, in Carolina's top 6, you're probably going to have Jesse Puljujarvi? Is he going to play alongside Aho and Jarvis? Personally, I think I would do that. I think you have to go back and you have to get a physical element on play with Aho and Jarvis. I think you have to have that. Not that they need it. I think the team needs it for their own good as a team. Not just you're not protecting. I don't think Jesse Puljujarvi is protecting anybody, but I just think you need a big physical body on that line. So my guess is you'll see Puljujarvi play with Aho and Jarvis. But right now, playing in Carolina's top six, no joke, Puljujarvi, who's nowhere near a top six player, and Stefan Noesen, who's had a nice year, but he's not a top six NHL forward. And this is a team that had the second best record in the league and has a 2-0 lead in the series, the only team that has won both of their home games. The only other team that won a home game was Boston until tonight. So that's where we are. Let's see what else we Mike Mikhail says, I hate the Islanders now. It's playoffs, man. You're going to hate the Islanders before the end of this series. So if Anderson is gone for a while, do we still need a goalie rotation? Do we still see a goalie rotation with Kochetkov? Feels like Raanta should just play at home with his history. Anderson was just ill. Anderson isn't hurt. I mean, the way I look at it is because if Anderson is healthy, if he's not sick anymore, I think Anderson's going to play Friday. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think Anderson will play Friday as long as he's not ill anymore. Do I see Rod splitting up the Staal line on the road, or are we putting too much into matchups? I do think that you will see. No, I don't think you'll split up the Staal line. I don't think he will. Not initially. I think he might have to. But here's the kind of the cool thing that I have seen from the Hurricanes team, the way this team has morphed. Like, I think the Aho, Jarvis, and I'm going to assume it'll be Puljujarvi, I think that line has been good defensively. And I also think Jesperi Kotkaniemi is sort of more of a defensive player than an offensive player. So I think, especially against the Islanders, I'm not so concerned about the matchups. Really not. So, and I think Carolina's really, I think all the problems have sort of been self-inflicted. You look at the Islanders' goal, the first goal, as great as Brent Burns has been, and he's got 4 assists in 2 playoff games, it was Burns who kind of allowed Kyle Palmieri to get inside position, get to the puck, and then that's just a bad goal. Really shouldn't be a goal there. And I'd love to ask Rod why he decided not to challenge. Pierre Engvall's skate looked like it was under Antti Raanta's skate. I'm not sure he interfered, though, and maybe there was no video evidence to say that there was clear interference, but I was a little bit surprised that Rod didn't challenge it, but you're still up a goal, so I get it. You don't want to take the chance and put the Islanders on the power play, even though your kill has been dynamite. So the first goal was really a mistake by Burns, but a bad goal. The second goal, I don't know what Brady Shea's doing. I mean, he gave the puck right to, who was it, Adam Pelech? He just gave the puck away with 20 seconds left in the period. He just gave the puck to Matt Barzal, who just skated in, and, I mean, that's a goal that can't go in. It's just a bad goal for Raanta to allow, but a bad turnover that created the opportunity. So Burns, poor play on the first one. Shea, poor pass on the second one. And Raanta couldn't bail them out either time. Again, 2 bad goals to allow. Not good for Raanta. The third goal, I don't put on Raanta. Nelson was in pretty tight. Good shot. Could Raanta have stopped it? Yeah, but that's not a bad goal. Those are 2 different things. Can you stop a shot? Yeah, you can. Feel free. But Not a bad goal. Not a soft goal. The other two can't go in. The other two can't go in. That one, you know what? If he would have saved it, we would have Mike Maniscalco would have gone oh Nelly, whoa Nelly, or whatever, Mercy, or whatever, good golly, Miss Molly, whatever he was going to say. So those are the three Islander goals. The Islanders did create some chances tonight. Carolina created moments, but I didn't see a ton of, man, how did they not score there? We had more of those in the first game than we did tonight. Again, I didn't think Carolina was great tonight. All right, Doug points out Greg Louganis is alive and well. I don't know why I thought Greg was no longer diving. My fault. My fault about that. Wes Gator wants my thoughts on the power play. No, you don't. Already gave them. The power play was the PP was PP tonight. Yep. That was what the power play was. Personally, until the Teravainen injury, I would have swapped Necas and Teravainen for the two units. Carolina's got, and I know you want righties and lefties, and Carolina has three righties in the top unit with Burns at the point, Jarvis, and Necas. But Necas, if he's not on the left side of the ice in a one-timer position, I don't know that I like him on the power play. Things just happen too slowly, and he makes too many poor decisions for me. And again, this just could be a moment in time for Necas. But we have seen too much of that from Marty. Also, tonight, for whatever reason, Carolina had like stone hands. They could not corral the puck. They overskated the puck. The puck bounced off their stick a bunch of times. I don't know. Maybe the ice was bad. No clue. And we won't know because the Islanders didn't have a power play, so we can't even compare it. But Carolina was just no good with the puck on the power play. They'll need a better one in order to not only get out of this series, but to advance past whoever they meet in the next round of the playoffs if the Hurricanes get that far. William says, I think Ronta Friday, and then if we lose, come back with Anderson early on Sunday. Like I said, I think as long as Freddie Anderson is not ill, I believe Anderson will play. Auntie was not very good tonight. They got away with it. I'm very certain that I'm right about this. You allow a bad goal, you're going to lose. They allowed two and still managed a win. That is lucky. Lucky that they won this game. So I do think that Rod will go to Anderson as long as Anderson is not ill on Friday. We'll see what I'm sure Carolina will practice tomorrow. I'll have to check. I'll do that before we get out of here. So that's what I believe is the case. I think you'll see Anderson. But again, look, I got no problem with if Kochetkov plays either. I've been on that train a lot. And let me just throw these things at you because I made these notes. I want to make sure I've got them here somewhere because I think that these things are kind of fascinating to me. Here they are. Because I keep saying this, and I wanted to actually do the research to kind of highlight it. So the Hurricanes, excluding this year, this will be the last thing we'll do, and we'll get out of here. The Hurricanes have played now in 9 playoff series. This is the 10th in the Rod Brind'Amour era. 3 the first year, Washington, the Islanders, and Boston. 2 the second year, remember bubble hockey, the 3-game sweep of the Rangers, then Boston. Then the pandemic central year, Nashville, then Tampa. And then last year, Boston, then the Rangers. So the Hurricanes have played in 9 playoff series before this year. And they have gotten annihilated in special teams in every single losing series. Annihilated. To the point where, let's just be basic about this. Power play goals for, power play goals against. In the five series wins, one each to the first year and one each the other three, the Hurricanes are -4 in power play goals. Believe it or not, that's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Remember the standard. You don't want to lose special teams. If you are -1 in a playoff series on the power play, you can live with it. You can. Remember, Carolina's been, for the most part, the better team at 5-on-5 against basically everybody they play. That is their game. So that's why I keep saying you just don't want to lose special teams. So the Hurricanes are -4 in the 5 series wins that they have had in the playoffs under Rod Brind'Amour. In the 4 losses, they are -19. -19. So the only outlier to that really is the first series they won to the Washington Capitals, right? Capitals had 6 power play goals to Carolina's 3. But Washington had no power play goals in this building. And then when we got to game 7, I don't think Washington had a power play goal in that, and Carolina had a shorthanded goal. So they overcame their own power play in that series. But for the most part, when the Hurricanes beat Boston last year, Boston had 6 power play goals. Carolina had 5. That's fine. It's a wash. When they beat Nashville the year before, Carolina had 4 power play goals. Nashville had 3. When they beat the Rangers in the bubble, Carolina had 2. The Rangers had 1. When they Washington, they were -3 against the Islanders the second round. They were actually -2 in that. But it was only 3 power play goals the Islanders scored. Carolina got 1, but that was just kind of a weird horseshoe stuck in your rear end kind of a series anyway. It was the closest series sweep I've ever seen because, frankly, the Islanders could have won every game in that series, but the Hurricanes won all 4. That was a little bit of a magic time, wasn't it? But when they lost to Boston that year, Boston's power play outscored Carolina's power play 7-1. Yeah. Last year, the Rangers power play outscored the Hurricanes 7-2. Bubble hockey, Boston outscored Carolina 5-2. And Tampa, 2 years ago, Pandemic Central, 7-2. Don't lose the power play game. Don't lose special teams. That is the mission. And with that, we are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. By the way, Smokey says the Hurricanes will not practice on Thursday. I thank Smokey. I should just ask you people questions. What am I doing? I just hadn't seen it to know if Carolina was going to practice or not, because the email that gets sent out got sent out as we were starting this. And frankly, I'm concentrating on making sure you get the best of this as he rolls his eyes. So thank you, Smokey. I appreciate you. And as William points out, time to get our first road regulation win since 2019. Yeah, the Hurricanes were 0-6 on the road in the postseason last year. They did get they got a they win in Tampa in game 3 in the pandemic year? I believe they won in Tampa in game 3, did they? Or was that an overtime win? Might have been an overtime win. I don't remember. Gosh, I don't even remember what I had for lunch because I didn't have lunch. All right. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. Sammy Hanna and his gang do an amazing job. You want windows? They got windows. You want doors? They got doors. Roofing? They got it. Siding? They got it. Gutters? They got it. Gutter helmets? Yeah, strap it on, baby. Aluminumcompany.com. Follow the Canes Corner podcast wherever you get your podcast. Give us a rating. Hey, give us a review. The reviews have been nice, so I appreciate that. I do. I mean, I don't get anything extra for a good review, but it's nice to know that you like it. So that's good. I think, personally, the people who run the podcast back at Capitol, I think they like it more than I like it. They keep sending them to me, and they say, you should send this out. I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to tell people, hey, look how much people like it? If you like it, you like it. Thank you for letting them know that you like it. I don't need the validation. Anyway, with that said, Friday on Long Island should be a humdinger. And we'll see everybody then. Good night.